Morning, Zivan. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Say love you. Say love you. Say love you. I love you. Okay. Say stay happy. Say happy. Happy, happy. Wish everyone happy, happy. Say happy, happy. Happy, happy. Go. Okay. No. Then you work. His name is Zivan, God's gift. What is your name? Tell everyone your name. Tell everybody your name. What is your name? That is so cool. I know that is so cool. What is your name? Zivu. Okay. Okay, Zivu. Now we will do. Thank you. It is done. You also know what is theta healing. Bye, Zivan. Bye. Bye. So good morning. It's difficult to keep him. Nani is here. Difficult to keep him away in the morning times. So today being the question answer day, is it the same thing that initially people have no questions? And then when it is 9:20, 9:25, then everybody has questions at that time. Is it the same thing today on the Friday? Today after 9:20, we will not take any more questions. So if you have any questions regarding this, then we'll see. So nice to see innocence early in the morning. Yeah, it is actually nice, how innocence children are. And not only like innocence, how when we started our journey, we never had to contemplate and think, whether I can speak this, whether I can ask for it, whether I can do that. And as our brain develops properly, we start, there is a lot of inhibition which comes. And because of the inhibition, lot of suppression, repression of the emotions, and then it leads to all the different kind of problems that we say. Yes, Yogesh. So, Mike, please unmute Yogesh ji.
Like in Indian scriptures, we hear this two words often: prarabdha and purusharth. Prarabdha, what they call is a destiny, and purusharth is like flowing against the current, like what we are talking. Even something.
No. Purusharth is not flowing against the current. Purusharth is taking accountability and onus of our own self. Purusharth is like it is my responsibility to dictate my life, because if I say that Bhagwan aakar karenge, like the God will do it, so the God in a physical form is not going to come. It is so prarabdha. First you finish your question, then I'll answer.
And the third thing is destiny. So some people
Prarabdha is not destiny.
Okay, yeah, prarabdha is not destiny. I would say prarabdha is what you receive from your birth, Prarabdha is what you receive from the birth. It is not your destiny. Your destiny is different from your birth. It's a journey of life.
Okay.
So should we, some people have a tendency to do a lot of purusharth, that I want this, I'll do this, ambitious and goals and all. And some people, leave it up to destiny. Like as the circumstances come, I will do my work. So, but since the last 6 months, my mindset has changed. Like one should dream big, or one should have goals. I think that now that is, really worrying me. Like, not worrying me. I'm trying to go into details like how to change my personality. Basically, I do Purusharth for some time and then I, go back to the old acceptance thing. Like, things will happen, and all these years things have been happening. So, what should the mindset be, and how to change that mindset from accepting the destiny and to moving to something which you want to achieve? Like you said yesterday to Anup, that which car you want, which bungalow you want, but back of the mind in the subconscious, those things are there. I want this, I want this, I want this. But in the conscious or awakening stage, or when the action stage comes, that input is not there.
Absolutely. So, the first thing first, what happens is the problem begins in the life when, because of the mass consciousness or because of lot of imprints of lot of many of the lifetimes, there is a part of us which is constantly, we define growth as amount of money we have, the possessions that we have. And as we grow, then a part of us is craving for, then say that, no, now that I have everything, I want to grow spiritually. Now, when a child starts their journey, that time being able to walk, we celebrate. Being able to sit, we celebrate. Being able to say the first word, we celebrate, because we call them milestones. That, oh, and we are very happy, like, oh my God, he stood. Oh my God, he said, Papa. Oh my God, he did that, right? So the programming is that, what is that? Is that Purusharth? He was destined to walk. He was destined to sit. He was destined to do everything. It was there in his prarabdha. But in spite of that, the child makes an effort consciously, taking in the information from outside and make a conscious choice to learn that particular word. To learn because it is the reaction of the people around the child which are excited. So child's mind or the brain perceives that this is something I have done good. So we say, we clap, wow, you said this, wow, you ate food. We all, as we are born, I'm talking about cognitive level, consciously, are programmed that there is something in life which we do where we put in purusharth, we put in our efforts to achieve that. And then it is what I gained. And that's why the appreciation, award, award is given. You did this, I give this to you. Then it becomes a blackmailing also many times. I'll give you chocolate if you stop crying. I'll give you this. You'll go to school. I will show you video if you do this. So we start programming our brain from award and punishment zone. The researchers show that the human brain is so much wired for anyone to be motivated to do anything. There are only two mechanisms. One is award, that I'm getting an award if I'm doing this. If your mind perceives that by me getting a car, I'm being materialistic and I am stopping my spiritual growth, it's not an award. Why would you do that? That's your perception. You don't want to do that because you think you are going against the flow, against how you are supposed to grow. Where did that particular set of belief come from? Probably whatever you understood from the scriptures, from the school, from your parents, from society, from books, from people around you. Nobody bothers to look at it and understand it actually, that what did that actually mean? Did that actually mean this particular thing? For example, if you are saying that, why do people restrict, why do people term abundance in the name of being materialistic? And going back to the scriptures, because you spoke about Nasib, destiny, you spoke about Prarabdha and Purusharth. So then, one entire week we had taken on Jainism. The one of the strongest belief was parigraha. So again, what does that parigraha meant? That decide how much do I require, which makes me happy. Am I being able to be happy with that? But then will I make purusharth to get that? It didn't mean that possessing a car. Jainism does teach you non-possessiveness. Okay? But it never said that you do not have it, because you are going through your growth there. So that point of time, the parigraha is that if I am at the level of consciousness where the 5 cars or a 4,000 square feet house gives me happiness, I might as well work towards it. I may take my action towards it. Allow myself to have that, to reach that state of calmness, to know that I'm deserving of, I can achieve that. But not to tell myself that, something told me a parigraha, which means I shouldn't have it. If you shouldn't have it, are you happy with 2 pairs of clothes, staying in a jungle without people? Are you happy? Go. That's also fine. If you are happy with it. So you are the only one who will first define at what level of consciousness, and no consciousness is good or bad. Good or bad itself, good or evil, something is divine, something is devil, is the body of judgment. As long as I'm constantly judging something in life, I'm not in flow. And again, Yogesh, I'm explaining, body of judgment is not a negative thing. But the nature itself, how it is being made, it is in flow, it is in sync. But there are times everything goes against the flow. Probably some reason, global warming, there is a volcano happening, earthquake happening. Why the sweet water of the river had to merge with the ocean's salty water. Why the water has to be banked. So there is a cycle which is ultimately working, and you as a soul are here with the destiny that you chose along with your higher self, along with the free will that you have. When the destined event happens in your life, it is your free will who decides what do you want to experience at that time and how do you feel about that incident, good or bad. So it is the 90% free will of yours which is dictating your life. 10% is the destiny you chose at the time of the birth. With whom did you choose your destiny? Along with your higher self. Because you thought at that point of time, with the consciousness connected with the higher consciousness of yours, that for my soul to attain the final goal of mine, where there is no more life or death, where I am one with the divine, for me to take that second step in my journey, what are the different lifetimes that I have spent with different set of people? What are the learnings which are still pending for me as a soul? The people who are attached to me, it is their learning. How much ever I love them, I cannot choose and write their destiny. It is my learning. And at one point, I need to be non-attached or detached, being able to move on, even if it is a difficult state for me. And so 90% is the free will. And how do I move in that journey is my prarabdha. And the purusharth, because I require to take action there. Problem comes when people start putting in everything to their karma wherever things are not working. When things are not working for me, I say, probably it is my destiny. Why don't you ask yourself this question, that if it is your destiny to suffer, why did you create this destiny? Who created the destiny? You created it with your higher self. Why did you choose that as a destiny? If it was your destiny to have cancer, why did you choose cancer in your destiny? Why? Was there, what are you learning from it? You can choose it only karmically. There are only two reasons for you to choose. There is no third more reason for you to choose. The reason number one, there is a learning from it. Do you need cancer to learn it? That's a free will. That's not your destiny. Second reason. What is the second reason? There was some karmic imbalance, what we call karmicals. बोलते हैं ना, हंसते हंसते जो कर्म किए ना, रोते रोते नहीं जाते. Unknowingly, making fun of someone, somebody fell down, I laughed. Not consciously, I didn't intend bad for them. But, not being sensitive enough, not being empathetic enough, but my action defines. I put that action, and in the theory of karma, that karma got attached to me. I didn't even realize because I didn't have a negative thing. I made fun of somebody's falling. So what I have written in my destiny is people making fun of my falling. Because the law of the universe is what I give knowingly or unknowingly comes back. If I have to look at it from the perspective of learning, I did it unknowingly. Awaken your consciousness to be aware of it and now consciously change and reverse it. How do I reverse it? By going and people who have fallen, helping them, because that was my karmic imbalance. So where exactly, if it is cancer, continuing with the same story, what was your karmic imbalance? Again, is it your destiny or it is a choice? It's a choice. Everything which is a choice, Yogesh, you have to make purusharth for that to change. You cannot sit and say, ये मेरे प्रारब्ध में लिखा हुआ है. प्रारब्ध आपने लिखा है. और जब लिखा था, तब की सोच थी, तब लिखा था. You have written that prarabdha, your destiny few years back. You have grown, you have changed after that. How do you still stay stagnant there? And that is a constant thing. You cannot say that I did it yesterday. Yesterday, Shangita made me do. Now today, why am I having this problem again? You are having because between yesterday and today, there are so many fraction of seconds, millions of them have gone. And you have changed. You had thousands of thoughts. In between, you created many more particles. How do you just stay stagnant? You are not what you were yesterday. How can my reality be the same? I need, with my conscious awareness, consciously to take charge of my life and change it. And that destiny, because even when I take back people from past life, In past life, when I had learned in the school, we were being taught that let people experience that entire life. Towards the end, take them just before the death time, because that defines your second destiny. So we used to tell them, go back just before your death, just before your death, and tell us what is happening, who all are there with you, what was the reason of their death. It's very funny because if people died with a heart attack at the age of 40, in this lifetime, at the age of 40, they have that problem. Same. The memories are attached. It's in our DNA. And they see, I'm going to die at the age of 40. That is the time they come. And then whether there were people around, they died alone. What was your last thought before the death? And then they define that, what was the point? Or this person did wrong, like, or whatever was it, and all. And that is what defines your destiny. How many people do have the awareness and the consciousness at the time of the death to think wisely? Number one, what is wise thinking? People are not aware. What I think positive, I have shared the steroid case. Because if my mother gave food to my grandparents when I'm hungry in the womb, the child decides that when I come out, my parents need to be there with me all the time. Is that a positive or a negative? How do you have your parents all the time with you? By you being in ICU unit. Positive or negative, child doesn't have awareness. The mother giving food, she felt, probably the child is in the womb, child is not communicating, she felt a little hungry. But she thought it is my sanskar to give food to my in-laws because they are elderly first. She didn't tell them, you please take your food first, I will sit and eat my food. Is that positive or negative? If she would have eaten food, what would we in a mass consciousness define? What sort of a daughter-in-law is she? Has she done something different if she's pregnant? A lot of people get pregnant. Boss, can't you give food to your in-laws? Look at their age. What do we comment? So many contradictory things. And again, coming back to the same point, please get it clear here. We are doing it every day only for a simple reason, to move beyond the concept of good and bad. It is difficult for each one of us. We all are in that journey of ours. There are times we all get triggered. We cry, we are sad, we are hopeless, we are helpless, we are angry, we are irritated, we are frustrated, we are tired, but not realizing that's exactly what we asked for. And why did we ask? That emotions makes us human. Why did we ask for that? Crying is not a negative thing. Sadness is not negative. Anger is not negative. But every time choosing anger to communicate is negative, because anger is your language. You communicate to hide your fear. The more you are angry, more fearful actually you are. You're camouflaging your own fear. So if you're constantly communicating with people by shouting, screaming, in reality, you are a very fearful person. You constantly believe no one hears me if I don't shout. Why did you believe no one hears you? Because in the childhood, you felt they didn't hear you. You felt your siblings didn't hear you. Your parents didn't hear. They were never there for you. But not being able to take charge, and the cycle goes life after life, not making a conscious choice to take the purusharth to change it. Why I was very specific with Anup. Tell me your materialistic thing. Tell me your materialistic thing. Tell me your materialistic thing. He went on saying, I want to do good for it. Next, I want. Next, tell me what you want. Is for very simple reason. Because till the time I'm in a duality, duality is something which is not allowing me to grow, and one of the biggest reason for my delay, because a part of my consciousness is going against the flow for me not to realize that this is who I am. I am a family person. I am responsible for my company. I am responsible for society. I am responsible for myself. I am responsible for my family. And at that point of time, if I start developing the duality state that, oh, I want to give my children the best house, best education, that needs fund. But it is bad to ask for money. I want to reduce my work, because once you ask for money, you have your dreams, your goals, then you have to take action towards it. Now, for example, you say, I have $5 million. You want to spread it, do it. But first come to the position when you have it. Now at least I can. But you say, no, but I'm not a materialistic person, my needs are very small. I'm fine with it. But it does give you pain, but you couldn't give anything to your son. You couldn't give anything to your daughter. If you had money, you would have given them house. Safety and security does not come from money. It comes from within. Accept it. But till I don't have the next meal, I am not secured. Let me accept that part of me also. So duality is something. And one very simple thing, this is for the normal people. The healers have this problem big time. Because for some very vague reason, when they start their journey, they feel, oh, now when I'm connected to the divine, my goal should only be this. And I am like, you first decide as a healer if you're taking a career. What is your definition? Do you want to make this money? Do you want to heal 100 people, 1,000 people, 1 lakh people, 1 million people? Do you want to make that amount? Make anything as your goal. Both are equally fine. But don't have duality, because, for example, if I say I want to make $5 million, okay? So $5 million, why will people come and pay me? Only if I am a good healer. If I am a good healer, what would define that? Something in their life have changed and they have come to me. Then they are ready to invest into my knowledge, my wisdom, and what I'm offering. Why would I go and pay a chartered accountant, a lawyer, very high fees? Because that intellectual property of that nobody else has. It's very unique, and only they can safeguard me. So we pay them. It is the same thing with a therapist, right? There. But for that, I need to be a good healer. When I am a good healer, and if to make that money, I have to heal that many people. Equation is very same. Eventually, I will end up healing that 1 lakh people to receive that, or 1 million people. Then eventually, what is that giving? The mass consciousness shift. Or I heal that many people, and I am fine with that. So, but the problem comes when I am very dual. I'm helping people, and then, when people do not even say thank you, I feel very bad about it. Or when people do not pay, then I feel very bad because you are investing into your learning. Then you are feeling very bad about it. So that is what happens in every relation in the life, between a parent and a child, between a husband and a wife, between an employee and the person whom we have hired, between everyone. While hiring a person, I will say, like, you are my family. But obviously, when I have to choose between my family and the person who is working for me, whom am I going to choose? My family. Why do I just have that duality? I would rather have the clarity of the rules. I've hired you, I'm paying you for this, you have this. I can be compassionate to them. I operate with empathy. So it is the consciousness, Yogesh. It was a long answer, but consciousness that you focus on. Your consciousness, the day it starts remaining stagnant, you are not growing anymore. It is your soul needs your consciousness to uplift the energy of your spirit. And when eventually connected, that spirit's energy with your soul's energy, it is that energy which will go life after life. And that's an ongoing journey. Does not happen once. Because even when people get that moment of enlightenment, Buddha got enlightened, Mahavira got that Keval Gnan, enlightened. Did they stop their journey there? They did not. Have you heard of any ascended master who got enlightened and they left their body? They did not. With their Purusharth, they got enlightened, but it was there in their prarabdha and their destiny, why they were the enlightened ones, so that they can share that to help others to get enlightened. So there was a purpose attached to that. Otherwise, even they wouldn't have got enlightened. So there is a purpose attached for each one of us where we are interconnected. I, as a soul, cannot say that, boss, I am taking so much time. I would rather spend it in my meditation and go alone. It does not exist. I require to take everyone along with me. And what is the effort I am putting in there? So that journey defines again your growth. Do dream. Dhirubhai Ambani International School's motto in the school is dare to dream, learn to excel. I really loved their motto. And my kids were going in the school, they said, Dhirubhai Ambani believed, dare to dream. He didn't have anything. Dare to dream, learn to excel. It's the same thing which I wanted with the download for Anu. But for that, first you have to have clarity of your dreams. If you have none of them, are you happy with that? Don't force yourself to say, like today also, if I like to wear new jewelry, then I need funds to have those jewelry. If I decide that on daily Theta for 1 year, I don't want to repeat my outfit, but then for that, I require that many 300 pairs of outfit for myself. And to remember, it is not something, but that's like, if I want that, fine. But at least I'm connected. Is that what makes me feel good? Fine. But then I must make the purusharth for that also, to make sure. I cannot say that, somebody else give it to me. I make the purusharth for that. So every day morning, changing, doing. Why? I'm on Zoom. It is not needed. But that makes me feel good. So what makes you feel good, you define that. Is that answering all your questions?
it's clearing some of my cobwebs slowly, slowly.
No, where are you stuck? Because this is a question with, I think, all of them.
I'm very confused since childhood, like
Confused in what?
so many things, like so many things.
No, tell me one. Confused in what?
Um, like I do not want to plan anything, or I have dreams. It's not that I do not do things, I do not learn new things, but then I get stuck somewhere, 13 December was my birthday, so I joined. But I've never been happy in my birthday on since childhood. Birthdays have never excited me. My own birthday has never excited me. Till now, I have not been able to come to the term that why do we celebrate birthdays? So a lot of confusion, like this small big ones. In fact, I was happy on 14 December, then 13 December. 13 December, I felt burdened. It's my birthday. What? Yeah. So
Uh,
it's a stupid thing. I know it's not natural, but
no.
yeah.
Your problem is that anything which comes to you where it is being, I have to, at a subconscious level also, uh, gets you out of your element. So if it is like, on the birthday one, it has to be something, then you believe that, go with the flow and surrender. But at the same time, uh, anything which comes as I have to, it is a rule book. At a some level, it is a rule book. A part of your energy at that point of time gets out, like it is not in alignment with you at that point of time. The minute you will change your perception about that entire thing, the flow will automatically come. That is your solution. For example, birthday. Okay. What would you choose? Why? What would, is life a celebration for you or not? Would you like to believe life is a celebration? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Would you like to believe? Would you like to make somebody else feel special? Fine.
Yes.
Okay. So now tell me one thing. Is that a joyful thing when a normal human being can invoke the divine in them to be able to give life to some energy? Is that anything less than miracle?
No.
Will you be able to give life to someone?
No.
But when a mother gives birth, she is being able to do that. And that is the way the divine passes on that. Because God is the only energy which can give life to someone. And through the cycle of being able to reproduce, God has passed it on, that power, to us. And for that, one is an active partner and one is a subdued partner, but both are needed. Both are needed. So the male and the female energy are needed to be one for that. So teaching the biggest lesson of life of oneness, where there is no boundary of ego, yet giving space. Darkness is not bad because the baby is in the womb. It's dark, but it's not negative. And from that darkness, when you emerge and when you cry again, is not a negative thing. So at every step, so at that point of time when you were being born on that day, more than you were being born, celebrating your birthday, that is the mother being born there also. Because only that child gave them that power to be able to invoke the divine in them, being able to nourish and nurture. And a new life taking shape, is that something joyful? Are we celebrating that divine inspiration? Would you like to celebrate that? It's a choice then whether you want to make yourself pampered and feel special, because other 364 days you are focusing on making somebody else feel special. So if you want to make yourself feel special, it's a choice, not compulsory. It is fine. And the minute I think that reason gets attached, probably everything, if you will look at it little differently, you will be automatically in flow. Can you imagine celebrating your birthday now? 13 December, what are you doing? What would you like to do to celebrate that special moment when the biggest miracle of the life, being able to connect to the life force, actually unfolded? That's a gratitude you are showing to the divine, a gratitude to yourself, because you gave birth to that mother in her, and such a special moment where both the parties were with the umbilical cord connected. They cut it, but it did not mean they separate. They separated, but in reality, that it was necessary to cut the cord for them to be able to permanently be able to express their love to each other. Otherwise, it was injurious. Otherwise, it could have led to death of both. So again, that lesson which you never, on your birthday, you never forget, that whenever it is needed, how much ever close that relationship is, umbilical cord, you have been supporting that child, nourish, you have at one point to cut and let the child start their own journey, that soul, because it's a different soul. Even if the child is crying, falling, learning, so all that learning in that one moment on that day is what you are celebrating. I would like to take every Friday your question, and one thing we will resolve. I am sure your birthday will not be now
It'll be
the
much better.
burden.
It
Much
will be a burden for me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Neeta is ready. Thank you.
Hi, Sangeeta.
Hi, Neeta.
So yeah, I also have the same feeling as Yogesh said. Like, it's not only birthdays, it's a birthdays, anniversary, my husband's birthday. And the problem is like, something untoward happens every time. Like, around the birthdays, around the anniversary. Even my younger one's birthday, like, she always falls sick or she has a little accident or something. I don't understand why it happens. And even I'm not happy celebrating. Like, it's a burden to celebrate.
Neeta, I think in your case, it is more of a belief that when something good happens, then there is something bad which happens. Nazar lag jati hai side, kind of. That is what the guidance is coming.
Is it?
So a part of your energy is very fearful at that point of time when, everything is good. So like you are like more contemplating on, can I if this will happen now, like what will the bad thing happen? And that fear of you is not allowing you to celebrate. And then, every time, like you said, she fell sick. So again, that is a confirmation that, oh, look, I always knew that something bad will happen. And so for you, the solution is to go back to the first time it ever happened to you. Why did you have this belief that when there is something good which happens, something bad always has to follow? Is there a lot of people on the platform has this belief that, when something good happens, something bad happens? Or like, when everything is going good in life, nazar lagti hai. For some reason, I feel a lot of people on the platform does have this belief. Yeah, Dimple also said, because, and that is why you, a lot of yeses, because I think that is why you start moving away from the life force, not being able to accept change, not being able to embrace life. Let us take this as a topic next week, release with the further B rounds and the downloads. Because Yogesh doesn't like, it didn't sound for him. For him, it looked a more like, I think little more of mera life ka purpose kya hai? Am I on the right track? Is constantly keeps him very, very occupied. But for you, it is nazar lagna, something good has happened now, something bad will happen, is not allowing you to be in flow. So let us work on this next week to be in flow, which will answer and help both Neeta and Yogesh's thing, though both are exactly like very different things. That they spoke about the same problem of the birthday not being able to celebrate, but both come from very different perspective and very different reasons. But being in the flow will help both of them. So the next week we will work on being in the flow. Yes. So thank you so much. Go on awakening your consciousness. You are here to awaken your consciousness. You are not here to sleep. God has given you the sleep time, rest time. But at that point of time, also through my dream cycle, I'm awakening my consciousness. Focus on awakening your consciousness. Take your steps towards it. Life is a journey, and we define how we go further in our journey. With the heightened consciousness, taking step, it is okay if you feel like crying, cry it out. It is okay. But at the same time, be aware of every emotion and be ready to take charge. Be ready to identify why that emotion. Where would you like to change? How would you like to be in charge of your life rather than there procrastinating? So the next week, being in the flow, and after that, procrastination is what we are going to work on. So it remains in the sync of being in delay, then being in flow, procrastination. We are set to heighten our consciousness. But effort has to be yours. You have to start writing one thing and decide this one thing, then like put it into action. Only action will change, not your conscious understanding. It helps, it gives a boost, helps you to decide what to do and what action. So after that will be being more action oriented, right? Rather than keeping it only at a logical level. So good to see Anup, not in the car, in the office. Yes, so you learn to start early. I am so happy for it. Anup, I definitely need your testimony for that. I'll ask Meg to call you for this. This must go, because if everyone starts early and I mean the delaying and the discipline starts coming, life becomes absolutely wonderful. So good to see that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Yogesh and Neeta, for asking questions, because you represent all of them. So thank you. And Yogesh has a lot of questions. So I know now every Friday, even if there's no one asking, whom to call. So thank you so much. Lots of gratitude. Have lots of love, laughter this weekend. Make sure that this weekend you are really, really enjoying and make the best of it. Whether it is your birthday or not, life is a celebration and we all must celebrate. Thank you. See you all on Monday, 9 a.m.